let's be real. You've been trying to get lean, you've been trying to lose fat, but you just can't do it. You see weeks of progress, you fall off track, and it's just a repetitive cycle. The same cycle that I was in myself, where I feel motivated, get some results, and yo-yo right back with episodes of binge eating. I'm gonna tell you the 3 enemies of fat loss that you didn't expect. You're gonna have to defeat these 3 final bosses. Let's get into it. The first final boss of fat loss is the training final boss, and he is your gym bro friend / PT. These guys mean the best for you. When you ask them, hey man, you look like you train a lot, like you got a good body, what do I do? And he wants to help you, right? So he gives you a lot of advice about, you gotta hit the gym, bro. Yeah, come with me, let me show you. You sign up to the PT, he's jacked, right? He's like, yeah, come on, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna do this, we're gonna split your macros like this, we're gonna make sure your nutrition's on point, your training's on point. That's what's gonna get you lean and get you to that physique. This is the first final boss you actually have to be aware of and defeat, because what they want is to actually help you. They actually mean the best, but they don't know that you're not like them. You don't live in the gym. You don't love the gym as much as your gym bro friend. You don't spend all your time thinking about nutritional macro splits and so on. So it's very hard for you to sustain the same routine that those guys do. If you actually look at what PTs do, they train like a lot because they live in the gym and they're always thinking about it because that's their job. And if you look at your gym bro friend who's buff, he's something like that, right? He's talking about the best exercises. He's talking about the protein all the time, and he's watching gym videos all the time. So these guys will take you to the gym and they'll walk you through their routine. The next day you're going to feel like, wow, that was a great workout. You're going to feel sore everywhere. You're going to do that for a couple weeks and be like, I can't do this. This is too much. You got to able to have some perspective and be like, yo, I'm not like that guy. I'm gonna need a minimalist system, a system that I can stick with, where it integrates and mixes with my current life, whether that's with a job, with a family, with different hobbies that I have going on, and so on. And it is possible. If you want to get my system, know exactly how I do that, check out Aesthetic Body Blueprint below. It's literally perfect for the busy guy like you that has other stuff going on but still wants that sexy aesthetic body. Next final boss you gotta deal with is your grandma. Your grandma is my grandma, and it's representative of your surrounding environment that's constantly asking you to eat what they want and not what is in your best interest. What is in your actual best interest in terms of getting lean is eating at a caloric deficit that's enjoyable. And in order to do that, most guys are gonna have to spend some time figuring out, okay, this is how much calories I have normally. In order to stay in my perfect deficit, I need to eat a little below maintenance, and this is how I'm gonna do it. This is how I'm gonna do it. And you start to see some progress, right? You start training with some of my routines. Maybe you start going on walks because you've watched my videos, and then your grandma, your family, your friends, let's say it's your grandma, because my grandma's like the pinnacle of this. She'll come and be like, eat this. And again, just like your gym bro friend and the PT, they mean well. They're showing you love, right? Eat this like pastry thing. And it's always freaking delicious. It's always amazing because it's grandma food, because it's the food you have with your friends. It's just fun, right? The drinks, it's just all great. And you're gonna have to learn how to say no. You're gonna have to say, I don't eat that. I don't eat breakfast. I don't drink alcohol during the weekdays. I don't have more than 1 beer. And the younger you are, the weaker you are at saying no, because you want to fit in. You want your friends to like you. You want your parents to like you. You want everyone to like you. And you realize that the older you get, the less you care, because you realize you're like, nobody else has my best interests at heart except me. Like once you realize that and everybody else is a little confused, you can kind of set your own boundaries better and say no, 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 no. And then when you get really old, you really don't give a fuck. So it's like when you're super young as a baby and when you're super old, you don't give a fuck. But in that middle, especially from teenage to early adolescence, you're always like saying yes and getting pushed around. And realize how if you have squishy boundaries, your body's gonna be squishy as well, because your skin is your boundary. Genuinely think about the people that have like sick bodies, like taut muscle, tight muscle boundary. They will have clear demarcations on what they eat, what they do when they train. And even though they might be pushovers in certain other areas of their life, usually they'll have hard ass boundaries in that field. They'll just be like, no, I don't eat that. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this instead. Realize this and defeat the second final boss, the grandma, which is just a representation of all the social pressures that are gonna pressure you to, hey bro, who wants a six pack, man? Stop trying to be cool. Let's just eat this. Let's just eat that. No, bro. As we all know, your worst enemy is who? Exactly. It's you. Your inner self-talk is the last final boss. If you can defeat this final boss, it's GG. Game's over. All right, shut down the game. Start a new game because you've won. This is the inner self-talk that binds you to your past reality, to your current reality. And everybody has this. All of us have stories that we've told ourselves throughout our childhood, throughout our adolescence that makes up who we think we truly are. And associated with that is what we think we deserve from the world. And it's usually what we've been getting from the world. This constant feedback that we've gotten back from the world is something that we're comfortable with, that we are attached to, even if it's not helping us, even if it's not benefiting us. So if you're actually a guy that like thinks he's a little bit like an outcast, a little bit lonely, people don't really find you attractive, or people don't really like you, or you're not really that fashionable, let's say you have that kind of like thing going on in your head, you're actually attached to that identity and you're used to getting the feedback as that guy, and it's comfortable and you can predict what's going to happen when you be you. It's going to keep bugging you whenever you want to make a change, whenever you want to actually like build an aesthetic body, look amazing, go on the beach, take your shirt off. There's going to be that inner voice like, come on man, you're not that guy, you're not that attractive, you're not that guy that takes his shirt off on the beach, just stay quiet, just sit down, just da-da-da. That inner self-talk is actually the same talk that's going to make you self-sabotage when you're actually starting to look good. Oh, you know, I'm not really that guy, let me just have a brownie because I'm the guy that has the brownie and stays kind of chubby. It sounds so counterintuitive, but this is the psychology of self-sabotage. Why would you self-sabotage? Why would you constantly bring yourself back down to your identity? Because it's more painful to change who you are, who you think you are, change the stories, than just stay the same. Every person in the world, every object in the world, its default position is to stay the same. Change is scary. When you change, you don't know what kind of feedbacks you're gonna get. Maybe everyone's gonna scream at you and be like, ha ha ha, look at this guy. Oh, he got lean, he got a six-pack now. Look at this guy, ha ha ha. Stop being that. We remember how fat you were. It sounds ridiculous when I'm saying this, but a lot of people have these dialogues going on, subconsciously running them, even if it's never been vocalized in this way, and it's binding you to your current behaviors. So how do you change that? You got to reprogram your mind. In order to actually change your identity, you got to first tackle the beliefs that you hold, and you got to keep feeding yourself information and telling yourself that you actually deserve this body that you want. And eventually, slowly but surely, you're chipping away at it, and your mind is going to be like, okay, fine, bro, you actually deserve it. That's kind of what's happening to me. I'm still becoming that guy, the lean guy who's helping people get lean, stay lean. It's an identity. And over time, I'm becoming more and more consolidated into this new identity. But I certainly didn't start like this. A lot of you know my story of how I used to be average chubby, how I used to find it so difficult to get lean, bouncing back all the time. So all of this talk is coming from experience. But now, as I keep telling myself and I live this identity with new beliefs, I can maintain it with ease. Another thing you can do is actually use affirmations and visualization. Visualize constantly about your ideal body until the moment it starts to feel good. You know those moments where you're like visualizing something and you're actually like transported into that moment, and a smile comes on your face, and then somebody catches you smiling and they're like, bro, what are you doing? And you're just out there enjoying yourself. That is visualization. The reason you smiled is because your brain couldn't differentiate between that visualization and the reality. And that's how you keep sending signals to your subconscious and start moving that default identity closer to your new body. Make affirmations that you say out loud to yourself that again shift your default identity closer to the identity that you want to embody. I stay lean with effortless ease. Eating healthy food is joyful and fun to me. I maintain an aesthetic body year round. I get stronger each day I hit the gym. I love training with minimalist training because it's so easy to stay consistent. Imagine having these as mantras running in your head. That is your self-talk. You're actually displacing crappy self-talk. Oh, I'm a fat guy that never deserves anything. I'm not the guy that takes his shirt off on the beach. Like, you're replacing these thoughts with better thoughts. And over time, just like a computer, if you keep reprogramming it, you'll start to believe that you deserve better. You'll start to believe that you're that new guy. And then making the other decisions that get you closer to that reality become easier and easier and easier. And that's how you defeat the final boss, which is the mindset final boss, which is you. And that's it. See you next week.